Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I'm just going to be doing a quick recap on the Spigen Ultrahybrid case, as well as NeoFlex optical film protector that I got here from my Pixel 7 Pro. I've been using this for about 7 months already, and I've had a lot of comments on the original video that I did, just asking what kind of what are my general thoughts on it and how's it been holding up. So let's get into it. Okay, so first things first, maybe I'll start by talking a little bit about the screen protector here. So overall, this thing's actually been pretty darn good. Now keep in mind, this is a relatively pedestrian $20 case, okay? So a couple of things that I noticed and a few things that people had commented on originally was, I bet this thing's gonna turn yellow on you after a period of time. I originally had a really cheap one for my original Pixel 3, and yeah, you know what, within probably about a month and a half, that thing just got super gross, turned a really bright yellow, and the flexibility was gone out of the case. With this one, as you guys can see, I've literally just pulled it off of the phone, okay? Yeah, it's getting a yellow tinge to it. Especially on the sides, what I've noticed is it started to pick up a bit of bluing from my jeans. I typically wear jeans almost every day, and I noticed a little bit of discoloration there. With that said though, the sides still have maintained a really good amount of flexibility, which is nice because you get a lot of cushion from there, and the back has done a pretty good job. Overall, if I'm looking at this thing, yeah, a few little minor scratches, and I by no means baby this thing either, right? I used it day in and day out. As a matter of fact, this case, this thing right here, saved me from having to replace the phone. I had this up on a ladder and it suffered a 10-foot fall, and I just kind of had that look on my face the entire time as I'm watching this thing fall to the ground, but sure enough, it survived. So I mean, overall, for I think right around $20, I really can't complain too much about the case. If I take a look at the phone, I mean, overall it did a pretty good job of protecting it. Now, you might be able to see this from here, but you can see spots where, yeah, it's gotten a little gross. I mean, even though these cases do a pretty good job of getting right to the edge of the phone, there's still gonna be spots where you're gonna get dirt and dust ingress. You just gotta take it off and be diligent about keeping it clean. So again, overall, compared to some of like the no-name cases, yeah, you know what? This has done a pretty darn good job for what it is. Now, if I move on to the actual screen protector itself, the NeoFlex optical film, this is what we had put on there originally. Now this stuff, again, in the initial video when I did it, I was like, hey, this actually feels pretty cool. I don't mind it. Couple things to keep in mind, okay? If you're into long-term gaming sessions, I recently got into Vampire Survivors, okay? Let's say hour and a half of constantly doing this on this style of screen protector, my thumb was starting to get raw, okay? Overall, I like the initial feel of it, but that's something to keep in mind. If you're using this thing for long-term gaming sessions, that might bother you a little bit. The other side of it too is, and again, the camera, it's probably not gonna pick this up, but I'll try to throw some B-roll in here after for you guys where maybe I get a closer look. If you look at the screen, especially from different angles here, you're gonna notice a lot of wearing and a lot of marking on the screen. Again, gonna be tough for you guys to see here, but I'll throw some B-roll in after, just so you can see what I'm talking about. But I mean, I ran with this thing in my pocket. I'd have my keys in there, loose change. Again, I used the phone and I went through the same conditions that anybody else normally would. And sure enough, it did suffer quite a bit of wear and tear. With that said, I mean, the screen underneath is fine, and when the display is on, you really don't notice that marring on the screen protector. But if I am to take a look at it, especially with the display off, you notice it right away. You can see how you can really just see some of the imperfections in that screen protector. Now it's a catch-22, right? You get a 2-pack of these things. Again, they're very affordable. With a tempered glass protector, you wouldn't get any of that. Okay, it would be you know, a perfect glass surface essentially. But the trade-off is if it takes a heavy enough impact or a bad enough scratch, it's just gonna crack or it's gonna shatter on you, okay? So I mean, my gut tells me you might get a little bit more longevity out of something like this. And again, running, and especially with keys in my pocket, I'm really impressed for how well a piece of plastic is held up here. Okay, so again, folks, you know, if you're new to the Pixel 7 Pro, or you're just looking to get something that's not going to break the budget in terms of a case or screen protector, I really can't complain too much about the Spigen line of products here. Again, that Ultrahybrid and that NeoFlex optical film, they've done a pretty good job for me overall. If I had to do it over again, I'd probably stick with the clear case. Again, I like the profile and the sleekness of the case, especially because I typically end up using this thing in a drone controller, a DJI, I can't remember the number off the top of my head, but it's your typical DJI controller for a drone, right? And this fits quite well. I used to be an OtterBox guy back in the day, but I mean, those cases are just honking and it really takes away from the beauty of the phone. So overall, like I said, not too many complaints about the case, especially for the money. The screen protector, if I had to do it over again, honestly, I think I'd probably go with a tempered glass option. I believe they have a tempered glass option out now as well. So again, just something to keep in mind. So folks, if you found the video helpful, please consider giving me a subscribe, giving me a like. If you want the notifications, hey, that's awesome. But I really need those subscribers. All right, folks. Well, I hope this was helpful and we'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.